What's up, everybody? This is James Foster here. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. But this is going to be my first video in hopefully a series and maybe even a channel. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to be start helping people here with the arduous and painstaking and sometimes very frightening task of cooking dinner. Now, I've been a cook. I'm not gonna say I'm a classically trained. I'm not went to college for it or nothing like that. I've just worked in kitchens my whole life, and I like cooking. I like messing with food. And I know the number one problem most of you have is you're afraid to try shit out. But I'm gonna here to tell you, it's not that hard. It really isn't. Your imagination and your own personal tastes are the perfect stepping stones to go. And I'm not actually doing any cooking in this one. I'm just going to give you some basic ideas of where this is going to go before I start doing recipes and stuff. But I just want to throw some ideas out there and let people start processing what I'm doing here. So I got some basic things that all of us eat, especially us, single guys or single people, or hell, you got a family to feed, whatever. The box of macaroni and cheese. It's mac and cheese. If anyone asks, it's not a particular brand. It's just mac and cheese. You can do a lot with mac and cheese. You can throw some ground beef in there. You can throw some tuna in there. I wouldn't do that because canned tuna just disgusts me. But you can do a lot with it. There's a certain glove product that does the same thing, and it's basically the same process, same principle. But, there's a lot more you can do with mac and cheese. Now think about it. How many of you eat ramen noodles, or, in case I get struck for that one, just any other kind of instant noodle thing? How many times have you had a thing, maybe something got into your package of noodles, or it just got messed up and you've got the seasoning packet still? Man, throw that in with your mac and cheese. Why not? You know what? Season your mac and cheese. That number one, season it. You can season it. You can add other stuff other than that package of delicious powdered cheese, because it is delicious. And going to point two, sometimes, you know what? When I want to make myself a pasta dinner, do I want to go out and buy a bag of macaroni? Or do I just want to use one of the many boxes of macaroni and cheese that I happen to have at home? But then I have a cheese packet left over. Well, that's not as bad a thing as you might think, because you could do a lot with that little packet of cheese. I like personally throwing it into some rice. Hell, if you have another kind of pasta, or if you're making spaghetti or something like that, you can throw it in there. Why not? It doesn't have to go with that box of macaroni and cheese, folks. It doesn't. It can go into anything. Anything. One of my favorite things to do is I'll make fried rice. And while I'm frying my rice, I'll throw some peanut butter in there. Just a little bit. Throw some peanut butter. Why not? Thai food, noodles and stuff like that, they have peanut flavoring in it all the time. They have peanut sauce or peanut oil or all that other stuff. Peanut. Good. I'm also the type of guy who will take peanut butter. I'll make a regular old peanut butter sandwich. I'll throw some hot sauce. Hot sauce. This bottle is empty because it's bacon flavored hot sauce, and it is a gift from the gods. But peanut butter and hot sauce, same principle. Thai food is delicious, and peanut spicy. They work. Don't be afraid to try it. It's food. If it's not that great, as long as it's edible, if it's not that great and you don't want people to know about it, hey, you can eat the evidence. It's gone if you don't want people to know. If you do, you can, hey, this was a great idea. I tried it out. It worked. There you go. Why not? So, speaking of the gloved one, that stuff is great too, but they sell it in all the different kinds. You can have it with, this one's just for hamburger, and this one's just for chicken, and this one's just for tuna. It doesn't have to be. Just because the box says so doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You can do it any way you want. Another one of my great ideas that I like to do is, say you want to make a meal for your family, or, meal for not have to cook for a couple of days. Take box of mac and cheese. Make it, put into casserole dish or something like that. It doesn't matter if it sits in for a little bit, because you're going to end up tossing it in the oven anyways. And then you make a box of the, what's the best way to put this? On the top of the stove type stuffing. You make some of that too. And hell, you use the same pot that you use for your mac and cheese, and you don't even have to wash it out because it's going right on top. But you do that, and then say put some, cheese slices or your favorite kind of cheese on top of the macaroni, and then you take the stuffing, put that on top, and then bake that in the oven so the top gets a little bit crispy and the cheese gets melted inside. And look at that, you've got a casserole. You can throw stuff in with the mac and cheese too. You could have some, beef in there, bacon in there, because bacon goes with everything. And that's something you're going to learn. I'm going to do a lot of things with bacon. But I want to hear from you guys too. If you have some ideas you're kind of tossing around in your head and you're not quite sure how to execute it, ask me. And if I don't know how, I'll damn well try and figure it out. You're talking to a guy who has deep fried, cream eggs. Easter cream eggs, deep fried. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. You just don't be afraid. One of my favorite things to do is when I'm cooking, if I know a particular spice, I like the smell of it, and I've used it in many other things, it's probably not going to be bad in whatever I'm making right then. And again, if it is, I don't have to tell anyone I did it, or I can say, hey, yeah, I tried it. Don't do it. Don't try that. And I may come up with a few of those things of, you may want to try this. It may suit your personal taste. At the same time, it might not suit your personal taste. It could suit someone's taste, but sometimes those ideas just don't come through. I have had many meal failures, but I'm still gonna eat it because I'm hungry. Why not? Another thing I'm planning on doing is leftovers. Who hates leftovers? I cook for me. I don't cook for anyone else. I cook for me, and I only try to cook meals for myself one day at a time because I don't want leftovers, because I do not want to eat the same thing 2 days in a row. Hell, I don't want to eat the same thing that I had on Monday on Friday. I don't, unless it's something good like steak or chicken wings. There's exceptions to that rule, obviously. But, you could have leftovers in your fridge of a couple different kind of meals from the week, and they might end up working well together. You could end up doing something with them into a different meal, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's going to be down the road. We're going to ease you all into this. And this is not just for me helping you guys, but this is for me to get my passion back. I want to do this because there's nothing in my life that I've ever found that makes me as happy as working in a kitchen and working with food. My first job was in a pub. I was a dishwasher, but I watched the hell out of those cooks, and I picked up a lot from them. I've worked in kitchens other than a brief stint on a farm. Every other job I've had is working with food. I even include, I worked at Subway and I worked at Quiznos. And when I was at Subway, you damn well better believe I was a sandwich artist. If you happen to be one of the lucky ones near a Subway that has the boneless rib patty sub, you tell them you want the boneless rib patty, you want bacon, you want cheese, you want hot sauce and barbecue sauce before they throw that sucker in the toaster. And then when it comes out, your heart's desire for the vegetables. I personally left them the hell off of it. There's no room for vegetables on a barbecue rib patty with bacon and barbecue sauce and hot sauce. Oh, there's just no room. I don't need. That's just filler. That's just getting in my way to taking away from the meat. Which again, meat will be also a big thing. But for you gluten-free people, you vegetarians, I've worked in kitchens. I feel your pain. As much as sometimes I would hate you people walking into my place just not knowing what kind of food we had, and you're just sitting there sending my a waitress or something back to the kitchen. What can this person have? They didn't look at the menu. They looked at the menu and decided to stay anyways. Okay, well maybe I can come up with something. Or I've got a great recipe for a quinoa veggie burger with something that I will actually personally make for myself. As much as I love meat, it's actually quite tasty. We're gonna have a lot of stuff though, like dinner, desserts. Oh yeah, desserts. Yeah, I know we're all back. Ooh, dessert. Yeah. But this is something I want to share because I know I can see you. I see you on the other end of this video. All you people who are afraid, scared of cooking, just because you feel like you don't know what you're doing. You feel like you're gonna mess it up. I mean, don't be setting stuff on fire. And I've known people who burn water and set fire to the kitchen with water. Funny story, we'll get to that one. But you don't have to be afraid of it. And, I've had suggestions, and one of the things I'm going to focus on is making meals that require the least amount of dishes, the least amount of fancy stuff. I don't want to I hear it all the time. I don't want to have to make a meal and then have a sink full of dishes. Well, then don't. There's ways around it. You can get through it. It's not that hard. Also, one of my favorite tricks to do is I will make food for my friends. I have one standing rule though. If I cook you dinner, you're washing my dishes. I don't care if you're a guest in my house. I made you dinner. I cook for you. I'm hosting you. Get your ass in there and wash my dishes. You know, I don't have a dishwasher. You know what my dishwasher is? Right here. Or right here. But yeah, so this is just a small taste. I got some other stuff here too. Here's your on top of the stove stuffing. You know, basic seasonings. Like I have 2 seasonings right now, which as me as someone who's cooked my entire life, having 2 things of seasoning that aren't that different, kind of weird. But I make it work. Cause yeah, I dig fast food. Man, don't get me started. I love me to get some fast food. When I lived in the U.S., man, Sonic, oh, I love you guys. Oh, you do it all right. Yeah, but you know, it's stuff like that. You get the idea of something, things that you like that aren't usually combined. Why not? Why can't they be combined? Why can't you make them together? You know, is there a particular reason they can't? Will they counteract each other? Will they react bad to each other? Will they be poisonous when you make them? Because if that's the case, don't do that. Don't do that. We're not trying to kill nobody here. But at the same time, you just gotta experiment. You gotta try. You know, I'm pretty sure that the channel name will be changing to Kitchen MacGyver because that's something that I've picked up. You know, you're talking to a guy who right now, I have once made salad dressing out of blue curacao. I have once made a glaze for a chicken out of random sauce packets and some butter. And it was delicious. Mind you, it was chicken breast wrapped around pork loin, which that really, you can't go wrong. I mean, I could have pretty much thrown anything on there and it would be perfect. But the fact that I tried and it came out amazing. Why? Because I tried. So that's just a small taste. And hopefully once I get a cameraman, because trying to set up a camera to record me while cooking has proven to be kind of a head scratcher. So yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that part. But I'm hoping to share a lot with you guys, and I'm hoping to share recipes. I'm hoping you share recipes with me. I want you to share them with me, and I'll make them. Be warned, though, I'm gonna make them and maybe do it with my own personal spin, because that's also, you put yourself into your food. You know, what you cook says a lot about you. If you're making bland stuff all the time just because you can't be asked to do it right or can't be asked to do it any better, hey, if that's the way you like it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you could take maybe 1-2 small little steps to make your dinner to dinner, why don't you? Why don't you? You deserve it. You deserve to have meals that make you go, yeah, okay, I don't need to eat for the rest of the day. I am good. I'm not just full, I am satisfied. And that's what we're looking for, satisfaction. And so I hope you all join me on my journey. I know I got a couple people who said they'll help spread the word. And I appreciate it from all of you. Unspent Youth, Scrapyard Dog, Salati, looking at all y'all. Y'all have helped me reach this point where I can actually do this. And I appreciate you. So I want to thank you to you. And if I end up making you fat, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think food should be enjoyed. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. Hopefully I've sparked some interest. And hopefully we'll see each other soon. All right. Well, have a good one. And have fun at the adventure.